joined by BBC journalist Thomas Niblock to talk with Cavan and Meath game that just took place. It was a draw in the end. Fair result, Thomas?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to pull out a camera here, to be perfectly honest, but it probably was Meath. Meath had the chances to win it, the 2 goal scoring chances, and then even in fairness, when they missed the first goal scoring chance, McBrennan, who was brilliant, he scored 3 points, the goalkeeper, that came up and nailed the 45. They thought, right, they got something from it. But in fairness, the Cavan goalkeeper, I mean, the 2 saves, he made himself so big, he spread himself, he got a dirty big foot to the first one, and I think the second one he just sort of spread himself and hit him right in the stomach, and then everything turned. I thought Point Faulkner was amazing. Donald Cogan got man of the match because him and Paddy Lynch were it was just a battle, and Paddy Lynch, particularly during the first half, was watching and staying behind Cogan, but he's such a big long strider and he's able to overtake him. But that was just a fascinating battle all day. But I thought Point Faulkner was just fantastic, and whenever Cavan needed him, he was there. But you know what? It wasn't a great quality match, is what I would say. And I hate saying that because I think it's being really disparaging to players. It just wasn't. No. But the one thing I would say is, which I felt was just incredible, the doggedness of both sides, Meath and Cavan. They just were not wanting to lose that game. And like, we're standing here in Kingspan Breffni. Yeah. It's a soft sod. It was raining on and off. Players are making mistakes and they just didn't give up, and breaking ball on mistakes, and balls a little too far in front, trickling over the sideline. And I just think that both teams actually, when they get in there, they'll think, you know what, we played not that great, but we didn't lose. And you know what's most importantly, just flicking through the league table as we were finishing commentary in the BBC, still in it. The Cavan and Meath still absolutely in it, and plus you've got realistically Donegal and Armagh both, to come for both sides, and then in that sense, it can go to the head-to-head. Yeah. So it's very much in Cavan's hands and Meath. But listen, enjoyable match, big crowd here as well, and we'll see what way the summer goes.
100%, Thomas. I suppose, obviously, I was talking to former Cavan legend Rona Carlin there, and he was basically alluding to the fact that it was a local derby. Nerves could have been settled in. Maybe nerves was a bit of a problem tonight, who knows? Yeah,
there was a lovely big piece in the Irish News today, actually, about that sort of Cavan-Meath rivalry, and it was a lovely piece, actually, really, really nice. And does it mean more on one side of the border than perhaps the other? But look, players did, I don't know if they look nervous, there's a lot of mistakes. There's just a real lot of mistakes and a real lack of that real top quality. And I don't like saying that because these guys, I'm just so in admiration for what they do, what they produce, what they give consistently. I don't like saying that, and I don't like sort of coming across quite negatively, but just when those players, they're more intelligent and more game smart than me or anyone else. They'll know it, they'll recognise it, and they'll see where they can improve. It just seems so congested in the middle. It's the one game of football and commentary this year. It just seems so tight, this lovely big pitch. And I think just maybe when likes of Stephen O'Neill and the Cavan forwards particularly, and exactly the same with Meath, when they look at that, they'll think are there ways to improve? Of course there's ways to improve. But listen, it was literally like an old-fashioned football match. And the one thing I'd love to mention, the match referee, I thought he was absolutely class. And I'm not saying he got every call right. He let it flow. 2 players are nearly decapitated here. And I'm not saying go back to I said in commentary it's 1982 again. But he just let it flow. He allowed the advantage as best he could, brought it back. I just thought he contributed to a really good, exciting game. The last 5 minutes was frantic stuff. Yeah. And forget about quality. We love to see a bit of excitement, I'm here as a neutral tonight, so just excitement's what you want to see, and you did get that. But for me, it was exciting at the end. Lacked maybe a bit of quality, but just the doggedness of both sides. Honest to God, it was actually just a joy to watch. And Donald Cogan, Point Faulkner, and just so many just dogging on the ball, diving on it, and making sure that if they can't pick up possession, they make sure that their man doesn't. So it felt like a real championship battle, even though we're just into March. But here, they're both still in it.
Forwards win games. Thompson, obviously, Oisin Brady was subbed off, and then Cavan Riley came on for him, and Cavan Riley was then subbed off, and then Ryan O'Neill came on for him. So just the Cavan forward. So Paddy Lynch will need help up there going forward.
He will, and you need to make sure nothing happens to him. He's a fantastic player, and not only that, he's reliable with frees. You look at the frees he hit, particularly during the second half. None of them were gimmies. Like, not one of them were gimmies. They were just all hugging the 45 and not suiting his preferred foot. Yet he nailed them every time, and that just about kept them in touch. 4 points in it, 3 points in it, back to 4, 3 points in it, 2 points in it, back to 3. Paddy Lynch kept them in touch. So, like, he definitely needs help out there. I think Pádraig Faulkner's score here was just a real momentum changer, where Michael Murphy and myself were sitting commentating. We couldn't hear the Cavan supporters. They were in front of us, you really couldn't hear them, and then that Faulkner score just changed things.
Yeah.
So you have a bit of work to do up front, and look, I'm not the Don here, I'm not no magician. Tommy Niblock is not Jimmy McGuinness, I can assure you, but there's definitely work to do for both teams. But look, it's still early, it's still wet, it's still winter football, but that was an important match for both teams. And I think it nearly felt that it was more important not to lose than necessarily win it, and it kind of panned out that way.
Enjoying the Irish National Football League so far, Thomas? Couple of games to go, yeah?
Yeah, fantastic. Love the league, love everything, love to do with it. Derry played Dublin tonight. Mickey Hart made a load of changes for that game, which sort of took away from it a little bit. But I could totally understand why he did that. And it does seem a wee bit that he was resting a lot of players, and that's a given. But looking at it completely from the outside looking in, maybe keeping his powder dry for later on in the year, and why not?
Yeah.
And why not? He's earned the right to do that with the 6 points that he's picked up already. So league's fantastic, and 7 weeks from today we have Derry against Donegal in the Ulster Championship. So obviously we've the Ulster Championship starting the weekend before that, so we still have a couple of weekends to go in the league, then potentially league finals, and then it's unbelievable how it's just on top of you. But really shows just the importance of not picking up any kind of hits or injuries. And from your perspective in Cavan's, Paddy Lynch just keeping him sane, keeping him on the ball, and keeping him fit. And look, with the player of that quality, you'll always give yourselves a chance.
Quick word on Derry and Dublin tonight. Thomas was back to reality for Derry to a degree.
Yeah, I think it was. It was a 5-point defeat, but at the same time, Derry made a load of changes beforehand. They were trying different players. No Conor Glass, resting a couple of the other Glen lads well. Ethan Doherty didn't start. So there was a lot of changes made there. And even at half-time, 3 different players came on at half-time. So it was, in fairness to Mickey Hart, really giving different players a chance. And I suppose a lot of people would say that the challenge for Derry was creating that squad, those extra couple of players. And look, Cormac Murphy back from injury, starting again tonight for Derry, which is brilliant, because he's just a fantastic footballer. He's from my own club, and I was just really wanting to see how he would do. He was the best player for Magherafelt in the county final. He's the best player on the pitch in the county final, Glen against Magherafelt, for the first half. Magherafelt should have been in front in that game, and then it was level at the break. Glen scored a goal at the start of the second half, and Magherafelt just, Glen powered on. They were the better team, they deserved it. But Cormac Murphy was really direct player, takes players on, and just fantastic. And I was just so wanting him to do well, because he's such a brilliant fella and comes from a fantastic family. But he's good enough, and he's proven that already, albeit it's just the league. So to see him back on again for Derry is another player. Jeremy Baker, I think, has just been a fantastic find for Derry. Absolutely fantastic. He's really good, and he's starting to pick up the bigger players as well. So it was interesting. I didn't get to see a lot of it because we were down here. We were supposed to be commentating on Fermanagh Armagh tonight, but then because of the snow, we were sidetracked here. So the last thing I expected today was to be commentating on Cavan and Meath.
God help you.
No, not at all. Delighted to be here.
Yeah.
Anytime I come down here, so many great people. The great Owen McConnon, you'll know him well. Great Lavy man from Cavan. So listen, it's great to see a lot of people here. So fantastic, yeah.
And the GA Social Podcast still flying away.
It is. It's doing well, thank God. It's doing well. It's deep stuff at times, as I'm sure you're aware, but we also get a bit of crack in there. So it's funny, we'd Cormac McAnallen's 20th anniversary today. God rest him. What a brilliant man. And then we had Donal, his brother, on this week, and we Kevin McCloy, whose life was saved essentially by 3 doctors keeping him alive until Cormac McAnallen donated defib. Kept them alive. So it's big issues, and we had them on this week, and the 2 guys were absolutely phenomenal. They're just so good, really good fellas, and they told the story so well. But we spent a good bit of it laughing and taking the mick out of each other. You really think to yourself sometimes, don't be saying that, you know. It's kind of out of my mouth before we start. But no, it's doing really well, and like I know you listen to it. Thank you very much indeed. You're very, very kind as a fellow podcaster to another man. Listen, it's an interesting space. It really is. It's something we arrived pretty late to, but the podcast has just exploded for us.
Yeah,
I mean, it's absolutely exploded for us, and the popularity just year on year. We're only going, it's our third year. It's unbelievable. So like, we're indebted to people that listen to us, and we're trying to bring these good stories, and we're trying to sort of show people in a different light. I think that's the big thing. You know, there's so much brilliant sports journalism out there that we've managed to create something that, you know, sport, we can go toe to toe to sport. We can talk about the football, we can talk about the hurling, but actually the person's quite interesting. Like I always tell people are interested in people, and the football and the hurling and the sport and the insight comes along the way. But if you can sort of get an insight into people's background, their character, the low points, the high points, then a lot of it kind of does make sense. And then the football conversation and the hurling conversation kind of flows from that. So look, you know, we get it, you know, rightly at sometimes I've no doubt we get it horrendously wrong, but it seems to be going well at the minute, and he's got to continues to do so.
Great stuff. Thomas Niblock from the BBC, thank you very much.
Pleasure, man.